The husband covered his wife's eyes and led her to the edge of the cliff. When the wife opened her eyes, she was charmed by the scenery in front of her. She thought it was a surprise specially prepared by her husband for her. But the husband exposed his true nature and wanted to kill the woman. The woman didn't understand why the husband who loved her deeply would treat her like this. The woman told her husband that she was pregnant and begged him to let her go. Unexpectedly, in the next second, the scheming best friend slowly walked over. She hurriedly begged her best friend to save herself and the child in her womb. But the best friend touched her own stomach and said that the child in her stomach was the man's. Until then, the wife realized that the best friend and the husband had been having an affair for a long time. But it was too late to discover all this now, only to see the best friend take out the sulfuric acid that had been prepared long ago from her bag and then splash it fiercely on the woman's face. Then the scumbag pushed her off the cliff. The next day, the news of the woman's jumping off the cliff was soon on the news and was seen by the twin sister who had just returned to the country. In order to find out the cause of her sister's death, the sister came to her funeral. Looking at the two pretentious people on the stage, she was even more certain that her sister's death could never be so simple. So, she immediately ordered her subordinates to investigate the background of the scumbag. Just then, the scheming woman on the stage suddenly picked up a pen and pointed it at her own neck, hypocritically saying that she wanted to die with her good sister. The reporters below the stage saw this and comforted her one after another not to be impulsive. But the scheming woman just threw a look at the scumbag and the scumbag easily snatched the pen from her hand and then ended the memorial service with this. But when leaving the venue, the sister accidentally dropped her phone. At the moment when she squatted down, the scumbag picked it up one step ahead of her. The sister was terrified and was about to face the scumbag. Fortunately, the scheming woman arrived at this time, so she took this opportunity to snatch back the phone and then left the scene quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was the day of the wife's burial. The scumbag held an extremely solemn funeral for his wife. Nominally, it was to hold a funeral for his wife, but in fact, he wanted to take over his wife's company by this. Before the funeral was over, the scumbag couldn't wait to announce to the shareholders that he would take over the company. Just when all the shareholders unanimously agreed to the scumbag's proposal, suddenly the sister stood out. The appearance of the woman scared everyone present, thinking they saw a ghost. Even the scheming woman who splashed sulfuric acid was scared silly, but the meticulous man still found the flaw of the woman. The wife's face was clearly splashed with sulfuric acid and it was he who pushed the wife off the cliff with his own hands. Even if she could survive, it was impossible to recover in such a short time.